Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby and have ourselves a drink.
All right, and we are back in the lobby bar for the week of January the 8th, 2024. Brian and Michaela here with you again. And Michaela, last night was a monumental night, question mark, question mark. Definitely not monumental, but the Golden Globes were last night, so that's good.
They
How were
were.
those?
They were good. They were okay. I give a solid 6 out of 10. They were
6 out of
okay.
10. 6 out of 10 ain't bad.
I mean,
C's get degrees. Golden Globes.
mm,
That's the moral of the story out there. I mean, in fairness, the Golden Globes like got like canceled, like for real canceled.
right.
Off the air. Not on TV at all. Like they were streaming on like Golden Globes dot biz or something. I don't know. One
I don't
year, and
know.
then I think they were streaming on something last year maybe. But this year was their return to actual television. I guess the changes they made were appropriate enough for them to be back on television, and this was meant to be their monumental return, and return they did.
They did. Now let's be fair to all the Golden Globers. Look, we are Academy Award when I don't know. We're the Academy Award
Worthy.
buffs, right?
No,
we
no,
we
definitely not.
we no, we are not. Could you imagine us at the red carpet? I would just be gushing at everybody and telling them how much I love them. But
Sure,
I
we'd be
think
escorted
that
out of there in no time.
that's it. They'd be like, Michaela, you've had way too much champagne. Goodbye. Um, the Golden Globes, though, really help us figure out kind of what's what, how things may land. They're a lesser, I don't know how to, they're like a less highbrow award show, right? And that's how it's been presented
It's
in the
like the
past,
party one, right?
yeah, it's the party one
The
where,
Oscars is the serious one, and the Golden
mhm,
Globes is the party one, where you get a magnum of
right.
champagne on your table, you get drunk, and you have a good time.
That's right. And I mean, I don't know if a Magnum is enough for some of the things that we saw or didn't see. I feel like we got to talk about some of the stuff I thought was really well thought up this time. I mean, I think that the way they kind of interspersed the movie awards with the made for TV series awards. I really liked that because in the
Hmm.
past, now granted, it's been a while since I watched the entirety of the Golden Globes, but I did last night. But usually they just do one after another. And so, you watch the last 20 minutes and you're kind of done. You're really set up. And I really like that they did it a little bit differently this time. They
Yeah,
added an award, which we're going to
felt
talk
pretty
about.
streamlined. Yeah, it felt pretty
Yeah.
streamlined.
Yeah.
They added a TV award too for comedy special. I think was the TV one that they added. But yeah, they added the box office something or other. We'll talk about that here in a bit. But yeah, it was meant to be like the glorious return of the Golden Globes. And I don't know. So let's get into kind of the logistics of the Golden Globes, and then we'll take a break to make the cocktail we had for ourselves last night. So it comes on. They're at the Beverly Hills Hilton. Is that where they are? Um, the Beverly
Yes.
Hills something. Yes.
The Beverly Hilton.
Yes, the Beverly Hilton. So they're there. The room looks great, I think. It's got like the stage, it's kind of in the middle of it. I thought that it looked cool, and it was fun to see everyone back, right? Like it was a weird, tumultuous year with the strikes that went on. So it was good to see everyone back and kind of dressed up and there to celebrate themselves. I like the way that the room looked. I like the way that they had the tables were in kind of close, but then it made it kind of awkward when people were going up because they had to walk like all the way around to the back of the stage before they could walk up the stairs. So it was just kind of awkward
Yeah.
and getting people up to the stage. I thought that was awkward, but not nearly as awkward as Joe Coy. And we're not going to get through dragging him through the mud. If you go to Twitter, if you want to see that, because that is happening all over the place. But I I don't know.
Aw.
He set a poor tone for the evening, I think.
Yeah, poor guy. I mean, look, there's a reason why people do this gig one time and then they say never again, right? I mean,
That's right.
and because it's probably pretty hard. You gotta have the right balance of like poking fun and roasting things without being too harsh. Um, but I will say there was a ton of things that went down this last year that we could have poked fun at, that could have been made more light of, that I think was just completely omitted or not talked about. I mean, I don't think they really talked or addressed the strike much, and they absolutely could have been like, I don't know. It
No.
took us like
Not at
It took
all.
them like
No.
150 days before they were like, fine, like maybe we shouldn't like digitize someone's face on a baseball. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a comedian, but I bet they could have picked different material.
Yeah, they didn't address that at all. I didn't watch any of the pre-shows, so I don't know if they might have talked about it on there at all. But yeah, I thought that was kind of weird that it was like completely omitted. Now some of the presenters were poking fun at the Golden Globes, which is fair play, because the Golden Globes is historically pretty terrible. But yeah, just I don't know, it was like the celebration, and then it just like threw like cold water on the room. It was kind of weird. That being said, I thought that by and large the people that were presenting did pretty good. There were a couple of misses there, and that's not always their faults. They're just reading off a teleprompter, which is funny enough if you're an actor, not really what you do. So that's kind of interesting there. But I thought by and large they were all good, and I really liked the acceptance speeches. I thought that they were all really good. There wasn't one I was like, man, that was weird, or that was out of place, or felt odd, or felt rushed, or something like that. I thought that all of the winners did a really good job of accepting their award, and that's part of the reason we watch these award shows, is to see these people giving their speeches and things like that.
Yeah. I think maybe my favorite was Stephen Ewan's. He seemed genuinely shocked that he won for Best Actor in a Limited Series, Anthology Series, or Motion Picture Made for Television winner. Like when he won, he looked genuinely just taken aback. I think you're right, though. I mean, I loved Kieran Culkin's speech, and he almost sounded just like Roland or
It
Rowan
did, yeah,
again. It
yeah,
was kind of
Roman, yeah.
funny at the beginning. I was like, oh, my favorite, of course, my man, Robert Downey Jr. Oh, so glad he won. I actually yelped with joy seeing that he won,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because he did. If you all don't remember, we cover Oppenheimer, and I think we've actually pushed it out now because it was the one of the first ones that
That
we
was the first one,
didn't
yeah.
actually record, or we recorded but we didn't present because of the strike. But it's out now if you want our thoughts about Oppenheimer. But the first thing I said was I had no idea it was Robert Downey Jr. till like 30 minutes in. I was like,
Yeah.
gosh, he looks amazing. Who is that guy? Oh, he's so good. Well, yeah.
True story, true story. Yeah, those ones were really good. Divine Joy Randolph, who was the first award winner of the night, she was awesome. She looked genuinely so excited to have won the award, and love stuff like that. Love stuff like that. So let's do this, Michaela. Let's go ahead and mix up a cocktail that we had for ourselves last night while we were watching this in our respective homes. We were live texting ourselves back and forth kind of throughout the night, but it all started here with a cocktail, and this one, it came from Table Magazine. Now, a lot of times you'll see the actual Golden Globes cocktail. I didn't see the actual one they were doing this year, so this was one that they just had kind of proposed as a Golden Globe cocktail. Of course, you can use Moet Chandon, which is the official champagne of the Golden Globes. That's what you see the magnums of there on the tables. So if you want to swing that, if you want to spend a lot of money on your sparkling wine, go for it. I did not. I don't know if you did. I'm guessing probably not. But we made up this cocktail, and it's delicious. So into a shaker tin, go ahead and throw in 1.5 ounces of vodka, 1.5 ounces of limoncello, and a 1/4 ounce of lemon juice. Shake that with some ice, strain it into a coupe glass or a champagne flute, and then top it with your favorite sparkling wine. The drier, the better. Sip and enjoy. It's lemony, it's delicious. Everyone should have a bottle of limoncello in their freezer, Michaela, but you don't. So what'd you do?
So I made two versions of this because, of course, it was Sunday and all the liquor stores here were closed. So I lamented to Brian via text that I couldn't find my limoncello. And he was like, for shame. But then he said, hey, just make your own. So if you're going to make your own quick and dirty limoncello and you don't have a lot of time, just take some lemon juice, add it to some simple syrup, add it to a little bit of vodka or Everclear if you wanted to do something like that. I did vodka and I let it sit for a little bit. And I did one with that, but I also had some Cointreau, which is an orange liqueur. If you don't know what that is, it makes a really great margarita. It also turns out makes a really great Golden Globe cocktail because that was amazing. So, and so I just used 1.5 ounces of that, 1.5 ounces of the vodka. I still used lemon juice, and then topped it with a sparkling wine, and it was delicious. It was a little sweeter than my fake limoncello one was.
Mhm.
Probably because the limoncello, the fake limoncello that I made on the fly wasn't super, super sweet. Limoncello can be real sweet. That's why you should always have it in a freezer, served ice cold, so it cuts the sweetness a bit.
That's right. Just a dash of a limoncello after dinner is going to be a good time. Be a good time. So yeah, this was really good. I like this cocktail a lot. It's definitely just kind of a riff on the French 75, if you've made that, which is gin, lemon juice, and sugar. So the lemon juice and sugar here is being taken up by that limoncello, which has a fair bit of sweetness and unctuousness to it in the vodka. You could probably make this with a gin. That would have been delicious too. But yeah, this was really nice, and it felt very fancy. It was very simple. We kind of threw that together for ourselves last minute. It was just stuff that we had on hand, and you can certainly use like the Grand Marnier Cointreau, like Michaela did. They actually sell like orange cello. I think you can get now. You could probably do anything that's kind of a sweeter. Like aperitif kind of a thing. Surprised you didn't go with some Saint Germain, Michaela. That would have been good. You could have done that, or kind of any of those things would be delicious in this drink to mix up different riffs on it. But this is a good one, Table Magazine. Thank you for that, and it definitely got us on our way into the night. So Golden Globes is a mixture of TV and movies. So we had a lot of awards to get to. Any big takeaways from the television side of things, Michaela? We'll stick to mostly the movies here for the purposes of Drink the Movies. But what were some takeaways from the TV side of things?
We need to see Beef, apparently. I have not seen it. I think it's been a couple of seasons out now.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah,
is
second, I think,
amazing.
too.
It looks amazing. It beat out everything else, except for The Bear, which you've said is also amazing. Jeremy Allen White, he was Best Actor
Hmm.
twice for that, because it's been out for a couple of seasons as well. That was really cool. And then of course, Succession just kind of cleaned up
Yeah.
as we thought it would. Well, I don't know. I thought it would.
Yeah, it was kind of a battle of the big hitters there for television this year because obviously you have Beef, which did very well, obviously, and then we had The Bear, which did very well. But then you had like the tried and true like standbys, right? So it was really kind of a slugfest between Succession and The Crown. Historically, here are the big winners of different things. And Succession, took the night winning the best TV drama, The Bear winning the best musical or comedy, and Beef winning the limited anthology or TV movie there. So yeah, there was a lot of good stuff. I really liked kind of the award speeches in recognition. He had a lot of Succession there. Matthew McFadden, um, winning for supporting actor, Kieran Culkin for actor, Sarah Snook for actress. I really like she she pled for Kieran Culkin to come up and give her acceptance speech. His was really great. I loved he started off with like, oh, you only get 18 seconds or something like that, and then went on to thank everyone, and including his mother, which is very nice. Yeah, so the TV was fun. I always like watching the TV ones, Michaela, because we don't talk about TV a ton here on the podcast, but I'm a big TV guy. I really like TV series and TV movies and things. So this, opens my eyes to some things that I've missed, or maybe some things that I should be seeing. I saw Daisy Jones and the Six nominated in a bunch of these. You keep telling me to watch that, so I might have to, but not until I watch Beef, apparently. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, look, I did love Daisy Jones and the Six, and I was glad to see that it got all the nods that it did, because I did really like it as a limited series. I thought it was great. I was sad that Ted Lasso didn't do as well as everybody kind of was hoping, or I felt like it was kind of one of those things where, because it was the final season, a lot of people were so excited and they were so sad when it was over. I'm glad how it all kind of shook out at the end, because I think Succession was just a much stronger show, even in its final season.
mhm.
But for a variety of reasons, we could talk about it for hours probably. But I really liked that, and I really thought that the addition of the best performance in stand-up comedy on television, I thought that was really cool, because there's a lot of stand-up comedians that don't do a lot of other stuff, right? They're not actors, they're comedians. So they might get acting roles, but maybe it's not ever going to be enough where they would be nominated for that craft. And being a true amazing stand-up comedy like artist deserves an accolade. So I thought that was really cool. I don't know how I feel about Ricky Gervais winning because it's Ricky Gervais and he just, ugh, but whatever. But whatever. People love to hate him, and I'm one of those. But I do want to talk about the edition. What did they call it? It was like best popular movie or best.
Yeah,
It was like
that
a
is
film that definitely won't
a
win
film.
on
I don't
other
know that
things, but
I don't know that it was. I don't know that it was that. Yeah. So let's go ahead and we'll get into movies here. And yeah, that's a good place to start, I suppose. So it's the Cinematic and Box Office Achievement Award. And it was won by Barbie. You and I went back and forth a little bit on this, and I don't know. I don't think that it was so super clear that Barbie wasn't going to win anything. Um. Because it was nominated for a lot of things. I think it was, very, very well could have won some of those things, and we'll see how, it shakes out when we get to Oscar night, when we get some more of those technical awards that I think it's also going to be nominated for. My suspicion is that the only reason this award existed was because they wanted to have a reason to get Taylor Swift at the Golden Globes. This was the first Golden Globes back on TV, and they wanted people to watch the Golden Globes. So I think that's why. But it ultimately ended up going to Barbie, which basically just means that this award was given to the movie that made the most money of the year. So we don't really need to have this award anymore. They pretty much buried the lead if that's really what this is.
yeah, except next year and the year after, because generally what happens is the film that makes the most money is not considered the best film of the year. Top Gun Maverick is a great example for that, right? Top Gun Maverick, and we're not even talking like box office. It was accoladed for saving movies during the pandemic, right? It was like, we're going to wait, please come back to the movies after the pandemic happened and they finally opened things back up. I mean, it got so much credit. It certainly didn't. I mean, it's a great movie. Don't get me wrong. Did it deserve to win Best Picture? No, and that's why it didn't win. So I do. I guess I kind of understand why they did this, but I do think that you're right. Like, I guess now you can get two Golden Globes. You can get best drama or best comedy, or you could get We Made the Most Money. And kudos to that, I suppose. Money talks here. I don't know.
Y- Yeah, the only kind of silver lining of that was then that it got to the cast and crew for Barbie up onto the stage to be able to talk, which was nice. Because I think it's just a matter of circumstance here. I don't know, if Barbie is going to get the opportunity to have those awards come in. So I think it was nice from that standpoint that they did get to get up and talk. But yeah, I mean, you just have an award for a box office success, and obviously, I guess the going forward, we should just assume it's whatever makes the most money that year is going to win that award. I don't know what other sort of criteria they were looking at or how the voting even for that went, if it was just a popular vote. I don't know for sure. Kind of strange, kind of strange. Let's get into the actual awards here that do make a little bit more sense. Michaela, let's talk about, so we're just going to go from the bottom up on these. We've got the best original score and the best original song. So the score was Ludwig Göransson for Oppenheimer, and the song was What Was I Made For by Billie Eilish. And that is coming from that end section of Barbie that gets awful emotional, and that song just reigns in all those emotions. What do you think about Ludwig Göransson's soundscape of Oppenheimer? What do you think about Billie Eilish? What do you think about that crazy suit thing that Billie Eilish was wearing?
Ooh. So I thought, look, Ludwig Göransson, I love the score. We talk about it a bit. I thought it was amazing. And I love this song from Billie Eilish and her brother Phineas O'Connell. Look, I don't understand Billie Eilish. And I've said this before. I really, man, we should do a Drink the Music and cover one of her albums. You should pick what it is so I can get an education and build an
Mm,
appreciation, because I
you
feel
should do.
like I'm an 80-year-old person who just doesn't get it.
You
Um,
sound like an 80-year-old
and I
person.
sound like
It's
an 80-year-old
true.
person. I get it. I get it. I know I'm wrong. I'd
Hmm.
love to be educated on it, but I just can't quite get there. I love this song. That being said, I love this song. I didn't understand her wardrobe choice. But I think
She's young and hip, and we're
she's
not,
young
I
and hip,
guess. I
and
guess.
you want to look like a 80-year-old librarian wearing like a skirt with pants underneath and like a thing that's too, I don't know. Not my choice, but that's okay. She's an artist. Her hair looked cool. I like the color of her hair.
Her hair looked very cool. Billie Eilish, that song is amazing. I love it. I often forget about it. The whole Barbie soundtrack is really really good, and I always kind of forget about that one. And it just like sneaks in, slaps you in the face at the end of the movie. It's really great. So the last time Billie Eilish won one of these was for No Time to Die, which she won the Golden Globe, she won the Grammy, and she won the Oscar for. That was a big year for Billie Eilish there, and I have a sinking suspicion that we could see some repeats of that coming again this year. Michaela. So let's see, what do we got here? Best director and best screenplay. These ones are often cited as the pathway to the best picture of the year. So best director, Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer, and best screenplay, a bit of a surprise, I think, to everyone out there. Maybe not everyone, but certainly a surprise to me. Justine Triet for Anatomy of a Fall. Justine Triet and Arthur Harari for Anatomy of a Fall. Really, really excellent foreign language film. Very good, but I don't think this was the one that people had in mind. I thought that at least for me, I was like, oh, it's probably going to be Oppenheimer, maybe Poor Things, maybe Barbie, but probably Oppenheimer, but wasn't. Justine Triet, and her speech was great. I loved her, and we got to hear from her a couple of times
Yeah.
throughout the evening.
Yeah, no, I really love these. So Anatomy of a Fall, it comes out in the next couple weeks, I think.
You can
So I'm
stream it. You can stream it now, I think, but
yeah. So I'm excited to see it. Christopher Nolan, I really loved his speech, and I thought that it was amazing. The way he kind of made reference to the last time he was on that stage accepting an award on behalf of Heath Ledger. I thought that was really sweet. And the way he paid homage to him as well as to Robert Downey Jr. In that, I thought that was really beautiful. Yeah. Oppenheimer, we're gonna have to really think about how we're gonna handle our Oscar you pick'ems, because I really think that's the juggernaut to beat this year.
I'm not going to think about it at all. I'm just going to pick Oppenheimer for all 15 awards that it's nominated for, and I'm gonna be
Just
pretty
be
good. I'm
done.
going to be pretty good. Yeah, I mean, he was very well worth it. But I loved seeing Anatomy of a Fall, and that has some kind of implications further up the line. We'll talk about those, especially as we get into Oscar talk and Best Picture talk. So that was that. Supporting actor and actress for motion picture. We've got the aforementioned Robert Downey Jr., who stole Michaela's heart, and Divine Joy Randolph from The Holdovers, who stole everyone's hearts because she's amazing. She was the first speech of the night. She was so excited and nervous, and she pulled out her little thank you notes, and it was great. I love that. I love The Holdovers, and I loved her in it. So very well warranted. And Robert Downey Jr., bit of a surprise to me, Michaela, to be quite honest. It felt like the direction was going Ryan Gosling's way for playing Ken and Barbie, but no, Robert Downey Jr. takes it. So is that going to lead over to Oscar success? I don't know. Or is
Oh.
Ryan Gosling going to be Ken off? See what I did there? Nailed it.
You did. Yeah. I don't know, man. Again, he was so amazing in that film. But
He
I
was,
think
yeah.
everybody, this was really hard because Robert De Niro was a force to be reckoned with in Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe. I haven't seen Poor Things yet. We got a movie date to
Sing
see
it.
that
We're
later
singing it
this week.
tomorrow. Tomorrow,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm excited because Willem Dafoe, he's another one who's just brilliant. He just and so
Mm-hmm.
we'll see. We'll see what
We'll see. We'll
happens.
see. Well, and it's weird because supporting actor normally, this is going to carry over to Oscars too, but supporting actor normally is not that tricky. Usually there's like one or maybe
Mhm.
two, but really all of these gentlemen are excellent this year.
Yep.
Like really, really good, really excellent. So
Yep. Yeah. It's gonna be tough. Gonna be tough this year.
you haven't seen the holdovers yet, so we're not even going to talk about her until you have a chance to watch that, Michaela. You should. It's really
No, I
good.
will
It's really
say,
good.
look, no, she was one. Look, I've seen a lot of hatefulness this morning on Twitter. Well, I've been texted because I'm not on Twitter, but I've seen a lot of it. Let's just not. I
Let's
just want to
not.
say for the record, I love her dress. And
Yeah.
I thought that it was the most amazing color. And I think that people who be hating are not nice. Let's not do that.
Yeah,
So
and she was the first person of the night that had to walk up those steps behind the stage, all perilous like. Come
can we
on.
just talk about the fact that nobody knew how to find the stage? Like, she was the first person, and you can audibly see her be like, where am I supposed to go? And then when oh my gosh, Lily Gladstone didn't know where to go. They like somebody had to help her figure it out because nobody knew where to
It's
go.
it's so
Come
someone could get
on.
tackled if they were making a run for the stage, they couldn't just go up the stage. So they took a page out of the Oscars playbook there, for sure. But yeah, she was great. So I'm excited for you to watch the holdovers. I'm excited to hear what you have to say about that. We'll be talking about her more here over the next month, I'm sure. Uh, Best performance in a motion picture by an actor or actress. This is musical or a comedy, Michaela. So we've got Paul Giamatti from the aforementioned Holdovers and Emma Stone from Poor Things. Emma Stone, Poor Things, looks great. The previews look amazing. The movie looks weird and interesting. I will say one thing about Emma Stone, and it's that she is incredible at her job. So I'm imagining that this was very well warranted, and it seems like this was probably always going to be her award for the taking. Paul Giamatti, though, beats Jeffrey Wright, who was kind of the one that I had pegged to win this one here for American Fiction. Haven't seen that yet either, but I hear that it's really good. And Jeffrey Wright's one of my favorite actors. I think that he's amazing. But Paul Giamatti is super good in the holdovers and well warranted. Do you have anything to say about these, Michaela? They're on your to watch list still.
They are. So it doesn't surprise me at all. Paul Giamatti is amazing, and I really liked his speech. I loved that
Yeah.
he
Thanks, teachers.
he was thanking teachers, which is really cool. We don't do that enough. Jeffrey Wright is a man after my own heart. So and I'm a big fan of Joaquin Phoenix, but I've not seen Beau is Afraid either. I feel like this scenario is probably I'm least educated in to be able
Mm-hmm.
to say whether or not I agree. But Paul Giamatti can't get more solid. And I think in the holdovers, he was reunited with the director from Sideways, right? This is like the second time that they've worked
Yes. Mm-hmm.
together. And he was also brilliant in Sideways. That was the first time I ever really got to know who he was and fell in love with him as an actor, and kind of opened my eyes to his craft. So makes sense to me that he would take this home.
Excellent, excellent. So that was for the musical or comedy. Best performance in a motion picture, actor and actress from drama here. We've got Cillian Murphy from Oppenheimer in a very stacked category of folks. We'll talk about that. And Lily Gladstone, big winner of the night. Best speech of the night, probably. Killers of Flower Moon playing Molly Burkhart there. These ones were both excellent. Lily Gladstone. I'm so happy she won. I think a lot of people had her, pretty much penned in to win this award from the get-go for that. But really looking down the rest of this list, and I've seen most of these now, and all these other actresses did a really, really good job this year. But Lily Gladstone did a great job in Killers of the Flower Moon. She was excellent. Loved her speech. Cillian Murphy, amazing. I was kind of interested to see how that was going to play out because there was such the ensemble cast there for Oppenheimer, right? So is it really,
Mhm.
Cillian Murphy was an amazing J. Robert Oppenheimer, or was he just, really good at looking into the camera while all these people acted around him? Turns out he was, in fact, really, really good. I'm really glad that he won. That was a pretty stiff competition there in that one, but those are our winners for best actor and actress in drama category. What do you think about these ones, Michaela?
I think they got him right. I do think they got him right. I was really touched by Lily Gladstone's speech. Um, they did make history yesterday, and it was monumental in terms of Indigenous people being. I think she's the first Indigenous person to be given an award from the Golden Globes in this category. Definitely in this category, and maybe in history. I think it was kind of a big deal. So I really love
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
Um,
Yep.
and it's really hard because in both categories, I feel like there was no, there were no, everybody was kind of a stacked, Greta Lee in Past Lives was amazing. I love Past Lives. I loved it so much. I mean, all of these actors and actresses are in the upper creme de la creme of talent, right? So um, I was glad to see them walk away with what they did because gosh, yeah. And Cillian Murphy was like worried that he had lipstick on his nose, and then he was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Somebody nice kissed me. It's fine, you know.
Somebody nice kiss me. If you can go from as thick of an accent as he has, his Irish accent, to an American accent, you should win an award for just doing that at all.
For
Because I
sure.
can't do an accent period. So yeah,
True story.
kudos there. We'll see how those shake out. I have a suspicion we'll be talking about those two later on here in a few weeks when we get to the Oscars. Let's get into then. We've got our last kind of categories here. These are for the best pictures. We'll start with animated here. The Boy and the Heron takes it. A bit of a surprise over Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. We haven't seen The Boy and the Heron yet, but we both big fans of the stuff that's come out from before here from this director and studio. So kind of not a surprise, kind of a surprise. In one hand, what's that going to mean for the Oscars? I don't know for sure, but Boy and the Heron takes it, Michaela.
Boy and the Heron takes it. I'm not surprised at all. And I wish, man, we'd been talking about what a year this was for animated film.
Hmm.
I was I was a little surprised. Now, to be fair, I had never even heard of Suzumi, which is this Japanese animated coming of age fantasy adventure film that looks amazing.
Supposed to be good. Supposed to be good.
Supposed to be amazing. I had not seen it, so I was a little surprised when they first listed this off that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was not in it at all. I thought that was a little strange, but Boy
Hmm.
and the Heron, that really doesn't surprise me because all of these Miyazaki films are gonna be visually beautiful. They're gonna talk about like themes that are relatable to children and adults. They're gonna have all of these really fantastical ideas and they stand the test of time really beautifully. So this doesn't surprise me at all.
Hmm.
And I, for one, am just really glad Elemental didn't win because I think that was probably, from my perspective, I thought that was going to be too much of a gimme for Pixar.
Hmm.
They've just everything that they make every year, everybody always thinks it's going to be the best thing, and it wasn't this year. And I'm glad that we recognize that it wasn't. So
It wasn't this year, for sure, and I don't think that's going to change. But yeah, excited for Boy and the Heron. I'm hoping now that this won the award, maybe it'll get another little movie theater push because I think it did pretty well at the box office dollar wise. So maybe it'll get another weekend or two, and we'll be able to get out and see that on the big screen before we have to check it out at home. Non-English language. This was a big one this year, Michaela, because it's going to carry over into the best drama category here. Three of these are. Anatomy of the Fall wins it, but Past Lives and The Zone of Interest also nominated here and are going to be in the Best Picture drama category as well. Past Lives is a movie that you and I saw both really, really high on. I've seen a lot of buzz and people talking about it lately, so it's been getting quite the push. The Zone of Interest is supposed to be spectacular, but Anatomy of the Fall from France wins the prize here. Should be no surprise, I guess, after it won the Best Screenplay award, but well warranted, really, really good, kind of quiet story here. Yeah, really good. Anything to say here about our non-English language films, Michaela? These are some of my favorite ones to watch at the end of the year, right? Because a lot of times it's things that you haven't heard of throughout the year, and they're just kind of coming in. It's exposing you to something you might not have seen before. But these three of the big hitters here are ones that I've been hearing about off and on over the course of the year. But anything to chip
yeah.
in about the non-English language films?
No, I'm just more excited to see Anatomy of the Fall. And then the Society of the Snow kind of came up. Gosh, the first time I even heard of it was maybe 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Um, and it looks cool. It sounds great. The Society of the Snow. I mean, I don't know. I don't know much about it. Well, I think it's about the like a Uruguay flight issue, like disaster where they crash land in the mountains and
Yeah.
it's really awful. And yeah. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see that, but I'm also really kind of scared to see it because it's not gonna be a fun watch. I guarantee that. But
Yeah, it's gonna make you cold. It's not going to make you warm and fuzzy inside, I don't think, for sure. But yeah, some really good films there in the non-English language category, and I imagine those are going to carry over, and we have some homework to do there on those ones, Michaela. Best motion picture, let's see, musical or comedy. Poor Things takes it. I think we probably should have figured that. I think the way the night was going, it was leading towards Poor Things winning that. It won over Air, American Fiction, Barbie, The Holdovers, and May December. I think there was kind of a world where Barbie might have won this, but it seemed like it was Poor Things night. It didn't really come as much of a surprise when that was what was read out of that final envelope there.
yeah. No, I mean, I think, and I think I was being a little blasé when I said, hey, you know, they've made this new cinematic box office achievement because they wanted to give Barbie something that they're going to give to Poor Things, you know, so now they don't have to worry about choosing. And maybe that's how that went down. We've not seen Poor Things yet, so I'm not sure how it actually is going to stack up against Barbie or American Fiction because I haven't seen either one of those. But um, gosh, well, I haven't seen any of these except Barbie. So I
You
don't
have a
know if
lot of
I'm
work
really,
cut
I have
out
a
for
lot of
you,
work to
Michaela.
do. Got a lot of work
All
to do.
right.
So I don't know if I'm really qualified
I'm gonna go
to
ahead and
say
mute Michaela.
anything.
Mute Michaela. Get out of here, I guess, with your opinions about things. Let's see. We have one more left, Michaela. You have seen some of these. I know for sure. This is the Best Motion Picture Drama category. As I mentioned, there are three of the non-English language here, right? Anatomy of a Fall, Past Lives, and Zone of Interest. But Oppenheimer wins it. Killers of the Flower Moon and Maestro also in there. As I mentioned, you either win, best director or best screenplay, and that's pretty much going to be the path you need to take to win best picture here in the drama. That's what happens for Oppenheimer. Not a surprise to anyone. I really, really liked, kind of getting the collective of the Oppenheimer team up there onto that stage because it seemed, and maybe Christopher Nolan it seems probably like a taskmaster on set is my guess, but it seemed like there was just this incredible weight off the shoulders of all these people that put in the countless hours getting Oppenheimer together. And what a year it's been for Oppenheimer, for this story, and for
Right.
this team.
Yeah, I mean the marketing that they put together to try and sell this, and Nolan explained this a little bit in his speech, right? Where he said, you know, this was a 767 page book that we tried to turn into a movie, and we did that, and it's a 3.5 hour movie. Which we hear a lot, right? Like that's the big negative around Oppenheimer is it's really long because it needs to establish all the backstory. But
Hmm.
it came out on top, at least in these awards, and that's really exciting. And I think the whole idea of the Barbenheimer kind of phenomenon was really cool, where people were, you know, we had this really serious drama as well as like this really beautifully done kind of comedy and coming of age story in Barbie. And to have that all happen, I don't know how much that really played into it being a box office success, but people who bought into Barbie
Oh,
might have bought into
100%.
the whole Barbenheimer thing, right? I mean, we
Yeah.
were going to see them both anyway, but I don't know if we're normal that way. So I think that really did help.
No, for sure. You talk about films changing your paradigm a lot. And the Barbenheimer of it all was that there were uh, countless people that went and saw Oppenheimer that would not have seen that, and there are countless people that went and saw Barbie because they would not have seen that, but because it existed within this realm where everyone was going to see both of them on the same day or the same week or whatever the case was, and they certainly helped to kind of prop one another up. And I think that because of that, they're both going to be kind of in this conversation, forever. They're intrinsically linked now, Oppenheimer and Barbie, and I think that that is pretty neat and something that we'll watch. And I think that maybe that's going to change the way movies are released. You almost always see movies like being pushed back because they don't want to release on the same day as something else. But maybe people are like, well, maybe people can go to more than one movie at a time. Maybe that's a thing that people would like to do. And certainly, it's the thing that we're going to have to start liking to do, Michaela, because Oscar time now is officially started. The Golden Globes are over. It's time for Oscars. I think the voting starts like tomorrow, I think, for
Mhm.
Oscars. And then
Yep.
the nominations, the finals list comes out what on the 23rd, so like 15
Yes.
days from right now. So the last couple of years, there's been like a longer gap between kind of whatever the Golden Globes existed as, and then the Oscars got kind of pushed back because of pandemic and movie release schedules and things. They were giving some extra time, but this is coming like right off the heels. So either people are going to look at the winners here today and just be like, oh, I'll just vote for them, or they'll look at the winners here and be like anyone but them. So I guess we'll see how that shakes out.
Yeah, yeah. I'm excited. I'm hoping that there's less than 54 films that we have to watch. I will say this. My feeling on this is that it's going to be better because they have started streaming or released movies that are already out, which makes me really happy. And I hope we do more of that. I hope that we continue to that Apple and Prime and Netflix and
Hmm.
all of the other studios continue to make great films because it's so much better than having to literally like stay in a movie theater for 8 hours a day for about 15 days in a row to get all these watched. So Not that I won't do it. We'll do it, but
We'll do it. We'll do whatever we need to do. Yeah, I think by and large, other than I think American Fiction might have just come out, so it's been in some limited release, but I think pretty much all of these other things that have been nominated are able to either be streamed or at least be rented at home. So if you're trying to catch any of these, and yeah, it's going to be a super quick turnaround. And then, of course, we're going to be doing our Oscar stuff. That's our real jam here. Drink the movies. We'll be getting our pick 'em put together, and Michaela's going to have to start planning her party for us that we have our very private uh drink the movies
our party of
Oscar
two.
watch party, our party of two that we do. We'll have to see who wins. But yeah, it was fun in a way to get Golden Globes back, to get a little bit of glitz and glamour, and see that it seemed like they've made, some positive changes there. So going forward, have some kinks to iron out, I think for sure. But overall, I think that the awards were a success. There wasn't anything that I was left head scratching. That's always something that happens in the Golden Globes, right? There's always like someone like slipped a check to someone, and they get this movie and they're like out of nowhere, and you're like, what are you even talking about with this? Doesn't make any sense. So I don't know. It was a fun night. Do you have any kind of closing thoughts on the Golden Globes before we tell people what we've got coming up?
No, I mean, let's make them funnier next year. Let's actually
Let's make
let's
them
let's do
funnier.
that.
I will give them kudos because it was scheduled from 8 to 11, 3 hour window, and they finished at like
Uh-huh.
11:02. So good job, very streamlined. They do a lot more awards than the Academy Awards does in longer time. So I feel like they could probably take a lesson there. I don't know for sure. So that is the Golden Globes coming out into your movie theaters this week. We've got The Beekeeper. Looks like it could be good if you're into some action beekeeping. Got that coming in. We've got the Mean Girls musical coming. That looks pretty good. Pretty fun time. Pretty fun time. We're probably going to be talking about that on Drink the Movies on our episode, and maybe we'll be talking about the original Mean Girls over on Patreon, or vice versa. We have to work out which order we want to do those in. So those are coming your way. Listen, for our year in review last week, we talked a lot about these movies that won awards and were nominated for awards. That was out on the podcast feed last week, and this week our Patreons have voted, and 1990's Pretty Woman is the episode we'll be releasing this week. So keep your eyes tuned for that on Thursday for the main regular show. So, any closing thoughts, Michaela, or do you need to go rest up? Do you need to get like the Excel spreadsheet, like dust it off, get ready to type in your movies and get ready to go?
You know me really well, Brian. So I've already started and I'm very excited. And yeah, we'll talk to everybody next time.
That's right, here in the lobby bar. So thanks for this extra special long lobby bar, I guess. Yeah, so we'll catch you next time. Drop us a line on our social medias, at Drink the Movies on all the things, and check out patreon.com/Drink the Movies if you want to vote on what's coming next, get in on that bonus content. On Wednesdays, we wear pink in Patreon this month. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Let us know what you thought about the Golden Globes, and we'll talk to you next time.